We will get started. Hello, welcome everyone to the Team Rise and Fit call for September 23rd. We just have about a week left, exactly a week left of the month, and we have lots of time to get things accomplished and do the things that you want to do to reach your goals. I see so many of you right now that are doing MM100. You're rocking your journeys. So many of you have been inviting to that. So many of you have, some of you, well, maybe not any of you, I don't know. How many of you are excited about the work that's coming out next Monday? Anybody? Maybe sort of. Emily, I can see you kind of liking it. Like you've doubled up on MM100. Like I think you'd like this. I'm kind of indifferent about it. Like I love being pushed hard, but like I'm definitely gonna write out all of MM100 before I give it a go. So we'll see. Going to leadership in October, I will get to sample it there. And the sample workout is up in Beachbody On Demand if you did not yet see that. I think I posted it in the Coach Collab, the Vimeo links as well. So if you want to get your butt handed to you, go ahead and give that a whirl. Or at least if you know of people that are interested in intense training, then talk it up. I think that's a great idea, Braden, to chat it up with your military friends. They are used to getting their butts handed to them, right? Kind of, sort of, maybe. Okay. So yeah, that's a great option and great idea. All right. So getting the call started off tonight with something you're grateful for. Go ahead and put it in the chat. What are you grateful for? Everyone has something to be grateful for in life, in the day. So let's end the night, start the call, but end kind of your night with what it is that you're grateful for. You can say it out loud, or you unmute yourself and say it out loud, or you can type in the chat. I'm grateful for this hydrate right now. I'm grateful for all of you being here. Your family, your little girl is so adorable, Kelly. I cannot believe she's 11 months old already. Mind blown.
I know, it's crazy. I can't believe it either.
Oh, but she's so stinking cute.
Thank you.
You guys are going to be in trouble someday.
I know.
Oh, Jamie says, I'm grateful for 2 great workouts today. Yeah, girl. Way to go. You're definitely going to sleep good tonight. For sure. All right. Well, keep hopping in those, what you're grateful for. And we'll keep rock and rolling. September 21st was so much fun last Saturday. Several of us on the call here got together as Zeppelins, and we had lots of fun chit-chatting and eating way too much food. I felt miserable maybe on the way home because I just ate way too much food. But it was so good to see all of you. And then I couldn't believe that we waited until the very end to take a picture, like crazy us. We didn't get everyone in, but we were just having too much good of a time chit-chatting. And so the next one is October 26th. And Emily, we're going to have to find a way to get you there. But October 26th is the next event. The highest vote right now in the team page, and if you haven't yet voted in the team page on the poll, go ahead and do so. But the vote right now is for a craft night. So I've been thinking of I tried a couple different ideas here. We have a pumpkin farm here in town that I think does craft stuff at night with wine, which was like another request that if we're going to do craft stuff, do it with wine. So I think I have like the premier spot right here in Vinton, but if not, we'll find something else. But crafting seems to be the thing that people want to do at the moment. So go ahead and tag your coaches under that poll, or put in your 2 cents, add your own ideas. We'll see what we can get accomplished, and we'll get it all planned. I'll get it all set up to go here in the next week or so. So October 26th, put that on your calendars. All right, tonight I just want to share some best practices with you. And if you guys have questions on anything, please ask, type them in the chat, or unmute yourself and kind of raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to ask a question. This is totally just kind of free in it kind of tonight, but I had some like things that are really working for me in my business, and the way that that my mentors have been sharing too lately is just like, these things make sense. These are things I need to bring to the team tonight. Okay. So ask questions, kind of roll with it. The first one is about inviting and sending. I personally am using my Ironman goal for everything that I've been doing. And my Ironman goal is elite again. And so it's going to truly be an Ironman, and the fact that we have a lot to get done in order to be elite as a team this year. but I'm sending out 25 invites a day to coaching. So that might be a little much for you and where you're at in your business. But for me, that's where I need to be in order to reach the goals that I want to reach. So in order for me to send 25 coaching invites a day, I have been doing these things. So you can apply this to any number, any level, and in your business and kind of make it work. But what's been working for me is that I literally take my notebook, which is downstairs on my counter. It's a notebook just like this though. And it's a little notebook. And I literally take the pages like this and I literally number it 1 through 25. Okay. So I have a visual of how well I'm doing in the day. I know exactly who I'm tracking. You can do this in a Google Sheet as well. But I just like seeing, like knowing that there's 25 lines on this piece of paper and that's 25 people that I need to make in contact with. Okay. So that's what I've been doing. I make a list of 1 through 25 and I just go through that. The second thing I've been doing is kind of what we talked about last week, was finding people genuinely that that you can connect with, right? And so we talked last week about finding 3 hashtags that are of interest of you. So like, what is it that you're interested in? Do you like knitting? Are you an ag person? Do you like crafting? Do you like, what is it that you love? And then find hashtags that are according to that and find people on those hashtags. So most recently, we've been talking about the Enneagram stuff, and then those are definitely your people that kind of understand how you work. So I've been going to some of the Enneagram hashtags and just friend requesting like crazy through there. Today, I found some girls that I've been the other thing I've been doing is going through Instagram and literally just in my feed. So my account has 11,000 followers and I've got 4,500 people that I'm following right now. That following number will go down because I will go through and unfollow people as I go through this process. But that went up significantly today because of what I just did. So I'm going to share with you. So I went through and I was going through my feed here. And so like every time I find a picture, actually, let's see if I can do this online. And then I can show you. I just literally go through my feed and comment on people, leave genuine comments. So let's see if I can do this from here. Hello, Bridget, so good to see you. Okay, so I'm in my account here, and I'm going to mute that line quick. There we go. And I'm just going to go through here and comment on her picture here. Love your sweater. Actually, I'm going to say I love your nails. Whoops. Okay, so I'm just literally going through here and commenting on things. I'm going to go back to my feed. I don't exactly know which person this is, but I could say, this looks like a blast. What's been your favorite part? Now, also, if I were on my phone, I would look at the rest of her account and I would say, is this someone that I can connect to? She actually looks kind of young for me. Probably not someone I'm going to interact with, but if she was, I would go ahead and send my message to her right now. Okay. And I would just invite her if this was someone that I wanted to work with. But going through here and gotta give some love on that one. Going through here and just genuinely commenting on people's stuff. Have really upped my account. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this here. No, I can't. But on my Instagram, just doing those two things in the last week, I'm going through those kinds of things. My profile visits, if you see at the very top of your phone and you look at your Instagram, you can see the profile visits. That's gone up by 250 people just in this last week of making genuine comments and of the people that are already in your feed. All I'm doing is doing that. So it's just a matter of doing the simple things of being social on social media, for one, and then going through and then finding the people that you want to connect with and invite them to your team. Start a conversation. My invite, I'm bold, I'm a 3. I like just to get to the chase. I also don't like small talk on social media. If I know you and we're I can make small talk with the best of them if we're sitting around the table in person, but to me, small talk online is just weird. So that's what I send. That's what I've been sending. Obviously, I changed the name at the top, but that's what I've been sending to people. I've played with it. I've sent longer ones. I've sent shorter ones, those kinds of things. But that's my straight up invite to people. And then when they ask, what do you do? Then we have conversation back and forth. Okay. But it's just a matter of putting it out there. These are the people that I want to work with, and this is how I've been doing it. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Going through, if you watch the National Wake Up Call this morning with Janelle Summers, first of all, she's Trina's coach. So we're definitely like straight in alignment of Janelle Summers and her downline. And she actually has tons of training that we have access to. We don't really tap into a lot because we just have a lot of really good stuff that we do. But if you listen to her on the National Wake Up Call this morning, CCQ, compliment, comment, and question. And that's basically what I've been doing on my Instagram feed all the time. And then as I'm going through those feed, I'm leaving those comments and genuine comments, which is upping my views and really just building a community and being that person on social media that's noticing people and being interested in people, instead of them being interesting, me being interesting to other people. Okay, the second thing I want to share with you is about stories. Okay, first, any questions on that first part? You guys have noticed anything that you're doing that's working well in that area? Anyone? Jamie just smiles. Okay. Second thing I've been doing is stories. So many people have been tagging me in stories, which I love seeing all of you guys show up in my stories. And all the other people as well have been just sharing. And so what I've been noticing though, like when I tag people and they share my story to them, they're literally just sharing my story over. But what if we use these to our advantage? What if we, instead of just shared the story, like, woohoo, Emily's working out, or great, Erica's doing, burpees. What if we use them intentionally and talked about coaching and who these people are and why they're showing up in our feed, right? So if you've been tagged in my stories or you tagged me and then I reshare it, you've maybe noticed that when I share your story, I add to it. And so let's see if I can pull up some of them. All of them are in my pictures. But what I do is I try to either bundle them together or I incorporate those stories into what I'm talking about for my day, kind of my message, what's going on. So for example, well, here's Emily's for today. Okay. Emily's here is, she had her story there, and then I wrote, go Emily, getting it done even while traveling for work, making yourself priority. Okay, so that's one. Yesterday, I need to move this thing. Yesterday, I did my own workout, and I was talking about how I didn't want to get it done. I didn't know what I needed to get it done. I needed to get done. I need to go up here to way up the top. So here I'm talking about how I need to go work out. And then Kristen comes in, see, always tagging me too. I need to get my butt moving. This team has helped her with accountability. All right. Then I went on to say, now Jill, another one getting her groove on, showing me up, she's moving. I need to get moving too. So like I'm showing the accountability part of it. Then I showed my MTV Energize class. Okay, yeah, time to get going. Chandra as well. Okay, I'm going. Finally, I'm going to go push play, right? And then I went and pushed play. I did my workout. And then at the end, I tagged all those people and said, thanks, I got it done, ladies. Thanks for the push. Okay, using those stories as a piece of your story as you're going through. I just got home from basketball practice. Okay, so as you get tagged in things, incorporate them into your story and make it a message, not just sharing their stuff onto your page. Because one, they don't know who those people are unless you tell them. And use it as a kind of double advantage of being able to talk about the team, talk about why we show up for each other, what it does for you, give them some reasoning, some context behind it. Now, the other thing is that you need to have a public account in order to have your story shared. So like I've had people tag me on Rise and Fit and on Happy and Fit. They tag me in their stories and I'm sure they're expecting me to share it back or share it on my story, but they have a private account and so I can't do that. So if you have a private account, make it public and then go from there. And the second thing was that if you have music on it, which I know you guys love adding the music tag, sometimes that doesn't allow me to share it either. I've never been lucky enough to have the music option on my Instagram. It's never gotten in any of the updates I've ever done. So whatever, I don't dance with my Energize anyway, but I just don't have music. So it's fine. But if you have that music option on there, sometimes it won't let me share it. So if that you're ever wondering, I'm not trying to like not share you. It just won't let me. Make them intentional, showcase, not share, talk about why you're doing those kinds of things. Okay, the other one, the last one I kind of have for you is like finding your tribe. We're just going to talk about that a little bit. Finding your tribe is like we talked about last week, Enneagram. I've been going to fitness accounts as well. Today I found a volleyball player that I just really jived with. And we had like, I kind of went back, I went into her comments. I found a picture of her and I really, she's actually like a pro volleyball player. I didn't realize until I really dug into her account, but she had some people commenting about, she had a picture of her in a sports bra and bikini bottoms. And she was like, she said, pro tip, never buy bikini tops, just wear sports bras. And I was like, yes, girl, you're speaking my language, like whatever, right? So I made some comments. Other people commented with me in her comments. And so I went to that long list of comments on her photo and I was like, you people all get me, right? And so I started friend requesting from there. And then today I've gone through and messaged back and forth with some of them and just building genuine relationships with people that are your people, right? Like you're going to connect over the weirdest things sometimes, but like that's sometimes how you work on it. Great question, Jamie. Okay, so Jamie says, how do you edit the story to share? So I have some in here that I was going to leave in here just for that reason. I figured you guys would have questions. Okay, so let me find one that's been, I did a lot of my messages earlier tonight. Okay, Maddie shared her story on here. So, okay, so when I go in here and Maddie shared her story, now I can touch, it says in blue, it should say add to your story right above it. So you just touch that. And now I could hit share and just leave it at that. Or I can use my fingers and shrink it and move it to the corner and add more text. I can make it really big and kind of cut her section out and then type on top of it. If you get, sometimes it definitely won't let you draw on it. It's like its own thing and your arrow has to be next to it. So what usually I do is I just shrink it a little bit and then I add my text. You can put text on top of it, but you can't put text, or you can put text below it as well. All right, does that make sense? All right. If you use your videos through Thriller, you can, yes, you can do that if you use Thriller. Triller. I would say Thriller, like Michael Jackson, but that's not true. It's Triller. And you definitely use that with the music. That works too. Other questions? Oh no, you forgot Energize for trip. That's awful. I feel like I should mail you some. All right. Although I just got mine too, so I may not really have any to send you, but you know. Okay, other questions, thoughts, ideas? Anything else anyone is doing with their stories in that sense? or ideas that they've been doing?
I haven't really been doing stories, but like connecting with Instagram and all that. I've just become a coach like about a month and a half ago. But I know Jay was talking about how some people's stories were different than others. Like everybody has their own story. And I would definitely have my own story because I broke my leg severely going on about two years ago. And it was really, really bad. I got a P-lone fracture. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but it's basically you bust your tibia and your fibula, bust them in half, and I was bedridden for almost a year. But anyway, that's my story of just not quit. Don't quit and keep on going. And life can change in an instant, but don't quit. It's kind of like my story.
So your mantra is just basically never quit, never quit, never quit. That's awesome. Just keep with that. That could totally be even a part of like what your mission is. Like we're going to talk about in a little bit, like our covering our story brand as a book that I listen to, and I have it as well. So if I have it in hand, you guys know that it's a good book, because you all know that I'm an Audible girl and I only get the book hard copy when I want to like really dig into it. So it's a good one. It's called Build Your Story Brand by Donald Miller. And it was recommended a couple of years ago, and actually went through some of the work from it with Sarah Morrison from Team Fit and Free. And most recently, like this last spring, Lauren Lundberg brought it up again and was like, okay, remember, we need to get back to this. So I bought the book then, and then got an Audible again and listened to it. And it's just really super good. So going through those kinds of things, I wanted to talk about just being consistent is like the final like best practice that I have for you tonight. Okay. And so being consistent is showing up regardless of what's happening in life. So sometimes even if you're short on time, just post a story on your Insta stories or on your Facebook stories, or show up in your feed, take a quick selfie and be like, today has been super hard. And you don't have to like divulge all the details, but you can just say, today's been super hard, it has been super full, but I'm still showing up for me. And it can just be that. Or you can make a longer post if you want to, or you can just show up and be as consistent. AF is going to be what sets you apart from other people that are starting and stopping, or other people that aren't showing up. And then they're like, well, where's that coach at? How am I supposed to coach me if sometimes that's the separator between people because people see a lot of us in their feeds, right? Some of us have multiple friends, some of us they have multiple coach friends. And so they see all of us working, and they're going to choose the people, one, that they trust, one, that they connect with, or two, that they connect with, and three, that they feel like they bond with the most. So they connect with their story. So we have to show up with our story for them to connect with us. We have to show up consistently so they can trust that we're going to be there for them in thick and thin. When life falls apart, that shouldn't be a reason to not show up for yourself. It should be more reason to show up for yourself, because you're going to need that energy. You're going to need that stress relief. You're going to need those things in your life. And so show them how to work through those things. If you're struggling through those things, the people that you are going to be working with, your niche, your tribe, are probably struggling through the same things. So if you can be a beacon of light for them and say, this is how I've gotten through it, then they're more likely to, and they know your story because you've been consistently sharing your story, then that's where they're going to join you and be a part of your tribe with you. Jill has I don't want to say a million, but she does have quite a few, close to 1 million people in her team that have all struggled through postpartum depression. A lot of them are dental hygienists, moms that have of littles, people that are all kind of gone through the different transitions with her in her life and have a lot of connection to what she's been doing. Jess and Bridget have a lot of nurses in their tribe. They have a lot of autoimmune disorder, or like just overcoming those kinds of like medical issue people in their tribe. I know those kind of people are harder to work with, but like they're also like, you just connect with them on that level because they've been sharing their stories about it. All right. And so what is your story? So Angie's talking about like her big part of her story is breaking your leg, and then being able to overcome that. And that never give up mentality has really served her. That never give up mentality isn't always something that you can teach people. It's definitely something that you can always be using your mantra, but like, what are the solutions that you're using to stick to that mantra that you have? So kind of telling that part of it, of your story. And then beautiful Mabel joins us for the call tonight. I love it. So when we talk about connecting to your story, so we have stories, which are a part of social media that we use to kind of be real in our story, and tell our story. But we also have our actual story. So I have tonight a couple other things. See if I can find it. All right. So this book, can you guys see this? It says 7 Steps to a Powerful Story. Brayden, can you say that? I can see you. Okay, perfect. So every story, everything that we go through, everything that you listen to, anything that's captivating to you at all has 7 parts to it, okay? And so I'm gonna find my first spot right here in the book, is that your secret weapon to your business is your story. Okay, what it is that you've gone through. Everyone's story is completely unique. You will never be able to, we have some things in common, obviously, but your story is uniquely you because you're the only one that's ever experienced it. And so the secret weapon to your business, what sets you apart from the other 350, 400,000 coaches that are in the network, is your individual experience with how you've gone through life. So help you grow your company, help you grow your business, help you grow your team, is to help you figure out and clarify your message. When you can get super clear on what it is that you do and what it is, who that you're helping, you're going to be able to do a lot more of what you want to do. So every story has 7 parts, okay? There's a character who meets with a problem, and they meet a guide who gives them a plan, then calls them to action, and then the results of success or failure. Every story follows that plan, okay? So like the example he gave was like the Hunger Games. I don't know if any of you guys like the Hunger Games. I've not read the books, but I've watched the movies. I cheated. So Katniss is the character, right? She has an external issue that she needs to survive. She has an internal issue, a problem, that she must stay good and authentic. And she has a philosophical problem of tyranny versus democracy. She's got lots of problems, but you're going to see these problems kind of come up in the whole entire movie. But there are, and we're going to talk about the problem part in a minute, but she's the character Katniss, and she has all these different problems. Then she meets the guide who's won the Hunger Games before, and then he helps her come up with a plan to get sponsors. So he gets the plan to help her get her sponsors so she can have her things that she needs. And then she goes and she calls them to action. She goes in and she competes, right? And then and the result is that she is the district region champion, and that it says Katniss dies. Does Katniss die in the movie? I don't remember that part. Anywho, she has a success or a failure, right? So the character with a problem meets a guide who gives them a plan, calls them to action, and the results of success or failure. This is how your posts should be written. He also said, Donald Miller, the author of this book, also says that every story needs all 7 of these pieces, just like a recipe of a cake needs all the things in it. If you go heavy on the salt, it's not going to do well. If you do heavy on the eggs, it's going to be all runny, right? But it has to be the right amount of each of the ingredients in order for it to work. So you can, one of the ways that people can get all these pieces in here and really kind of get too salty or too runny with their eggs is they focus on the character too much. And they focus on that character being the hero. And a lot of times this is the trap that I fall into. And then a lot of coaches posts that I'm reading as well, and they're wondering why people are not engaging with them or people are not following them. It's because they're positioning themselves as the hero. They're positioning themselves as the person who has all the answers, and the other people can't relate to that because they're like, well, I'm not a hero. Position yourself as the guide, okay? Or put yourself in the story where you have a guide, and that was a solution to getting to the results that you're at now. So if you are the character in the story, who is your guide? What is the thing that is going to help you get where you need to go? What was your problem? Who did you meet? What did you start doing as your guide? What was the plan that you started to use? How did you get into action? And what were your results? I want you to kind of think through these 7 steps tonight and really kind of come up with a post that I want you to, we're going to post them in the team page as examples for each other throughout the week here. We're going to Monday, Friday, the deadline for this. And so we're going to go through these 7 steps and create your own post that you can put out on social media. And the more you practice it and the more you go through these things, the better off your message is going to be and the more clear things are going to get. He also says that in order to have an effective story, it needs to pass the grunt test. Okay, so like a caveman could grunt what you do. Okay, he could read it and like in 3 grunts or whatever a caveman does, it can explain what your website, what your posts for us, our posts, our social media. They can look at your page, your Instagram feed, and say, this is what this person does. This is what this person offers. So the first question is, what do they offer? I should be able to look at your Instagram feed or look at your Facebook feed, or you're looking through your posts and say, what do they offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? Those 3 questions are 3 questions that people need to be able to answer in at least your last 3 to 5 posts. That thumb scroll of what's on your feed. What do you offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? A lot of times we get to, what am I offering? We know that. We want to offer them a lifestyle. We want to offer them fitness. We want to offer them nutrition. We want to offer them this team, this community, right? So that's maybe sometimes pretty clear. But then they miss out on like what is making your life better because of it. Or we get so vague, like Janelle Summers was talking about this morning on the National Makeup Call. We get so vague because we're so embedded in it. We understand what it is. We're at that 30,000 foot view, but they still need it in layman's terms. So how can you spell it out even more clear in like kindergarten level of what it is, that how this is done, and get super tangible with things? And then what do they need to do to buy it? That one is usually the one that gets cut off completely. We say, message me or join us now, but like, how? Why? What do they need to do? And so I have another graphic that Julian, we found in the Diamond page today, Julian posted in the coach club already, and I was going to share it tonight as well. But how can your post, your social media, pass the grunt test? Does it answer those 3 questions? And really it's about getting clear on what it is that you're doing. And so if we get into the framework, this little guy right here, actually I'm going to pull up the actual, you can go to mystorybrand.com and create a free account to kind of go through these steps, okay? So it's called mystorybrand.com. And you can watch a little intro video up here. He also has a little video, if you click on them, that talks about each section if you want to take the time to do that. He's kind of redundant, in my opinion, but if you watch the main one, you don't need to watch all the little ones. But that's Donald Miller, and he will walk you through each of these steps. So as you click on character, who are they? What do they want? What does your customer want? And how does it relate to your product or service? You could type that literally in there, okay? They have a problem. Is it a villain? Is it external? Is it internal? Is it philosophical? If you think about those kinds of things, find my next section. I lost my paper clip. So your problem has lots of different issues here. Okay, so a lot of people, he says, a lot of companies post to an external problem, but customers purchase from an internal problem. Okay, so if you are posting about internal problems and how you have solutions to those, you're much more likely to get someone to be connected to you and want to do what you're doing than just talking about the external stuff. So if you're only ever talking about weight loss, that's not going to connect to a lot of people. But if you can talk to them about why you wanted to lose that weight, that will connect with more people. That emotional connection. They need to see themselves in your shoes. Okay, so Companies tend to sell solutions to external problems, but customers buy solutions to internal problems. So we all joined because of lots of different reasons, but people are going to connect with you based on your internal problems and how you have solutions for them. So that's where we really need to focus and deepen our relationships with people. So you can click on them, and again, they explain right here for you what it is that you can do here. And you just type it in, and then you keep going. So they meet a guide. Is it with empathy? What brief statement can you make to express empathy of understanding? Can you relate? Has it been something, have you ever been in this situation too? Authority. Oops. Scroll. How can you demonstrate competency in solving your customer's problem? Now this is putting you as the guide, right? So I have done these certain things in my life that, how can you put yourself as a person of authority that's going to be able to help them? Who gives them a plan, the process? What are 3 to 4 steps your customers can take that would lead them to a sale, or explain how they would be able to join your group, right? The agreement, list the agreements you can do. What is it that you are going to do for them? I'm going to show up for you every single day and help hold you accountable. Or my group is going to cheer you on 24/7, and there's always somebody here that you can talk to. The process is they're going to, let's get you set up today with a challenge pack and have all the tools that you need for when we're going to get started next Tuesday. The call, direct call to action. What is your call to action? Email me today. Jump in today, get into my DMs, slide into whatever. What transactional calls to actions will be ramp up your customers? Success. What is it going to look like when they actually do this? And helps them avoid failure. What are the negative consequences that will happen if they don't do it? And then this is kind of an extra bonus piece of like, what was your customer feeling about? You know, this is the from to section. This is like then and now. We've talked about this before. What was your customer feeling about before? Who was the customer wanting to be becoming in the future? You can use any of these pieces. I would love it if we could like click a button and it would like throw it all together in one thing, but it doesn't. This is just like a storyboard space for you to put your thoughts in, and then you can save them over here. I had one done about time and I deleted it, unfortunately, and my rush had to get it pulled up again for tonight. So I don't have it on here for you, but I will have more of these options for you later. We'll put our things together and go from there. So questions on this, thoughts on this? Has anyone ever used this before? There's one more point that I wanted to do. Thoughts, ideas, questions? Yes, Jamie, it is free. You can go to mystorybrand.com and create a free account. And he references this a lot in the book. Go to mystorybrand.com and create a free account and get all these resources. Now he goes into detail about those things in the book, obviously. But like all the different things that you're needing to kind of formulate and put into words. For the perfectionist on the call tonight, I would say don't overthink it. Just put in some pieces. Maybe don't even use the storyboard. Maybe you just put in your 7 things, the 7 paths. And then just that's how you formulate your story. Everything, those pieces need to be there, but just remember the proportion of them. Yes, Amara, I know. This is kind of for you tonight and others, but I did think of you when I was pulling some of these pieces out. One of the things he talked about in the book was people don't read a ton of words. So to kind of touch on the word vomit piece, like if you have a massive story with it's way too long, people aren't always going to read it. So try to be succinct in how you get to the message. You don't need to list all the details. just summarize the content in a bit. And then obviously the emotional parts you want to kind of leave in there, but then go from there, and then stay on script, he says. If people are confused, they won't move. And the more confused they are, the more they'll skim past. You become white noise. One more thing in here. Oh, he also talked about creating a one-liner. Okay, so what is it that you do? Kind of going back to that grunt test. What is it that you do, and what separates you from others? So if, how many of you guys know what Julianne's line is? What does Julianne do? I bet a whole bunch of you could rattle it off, or you'll just know when it's said. Who can say it? Who knows what Trina's is? Friends, fitness, nutrition. That's definitely Trina's kind of mantra of like, these are the 3 things that she's all about. Her real thing is like, she helps women who love fitness dream bigger in life. That's Trina's, okay? Dream big. Julianne's is helping women get fit in all areas. Okay, you hear her say that all the time. She helps women get fit in all areas of life. So what are the things that you do? Like, obviously we're all into fitness. We all want to dream. We all want to do those kinds of things. But like, what is that you offer people? What is a part of your life that you can make work? My thing for a long time was I help women rise up out of their current situation and live their best life. As I've really been working through this, I've been really thinking more about strength and how I help women get strong in all areas of their life. They're getting better and stronger physically. They're getting stronger with their nutritional habits. They're getting stronger in their faith. Most recently, I've been working a lot of that into my stuff, and they're getting stronger financially if we're building businesses. And so that's just one of the things that, like, your phrase, your one-liner can change over time as you get to be more succinct into what you're doing. Bridget says, feel good in the body we live in, living a fit life. Absolutely. Yes, I can totally say that about your story. Helping people feel good in the body that they have. So think about that, mull it over. What is it that you do? What is your message that you're constantly after? Angie's, I know she's not on anymore, but Angie's would be something about never giving up, right? Constantly continuing moving on, no matter what's going on. She could be something like she helps women find that never give up attitude, or she helps women never give up on themselves. So the more clarity you have, the more you can get to your one-liner. Repeat it over and over. Have the people on your team memorize it. Include it in your posts. Have some form of it in all your conversations and what it is that you do. And when people ask you, what do you do? I mean, so many of us, it's super easy to say, like, I'm a teacher. I'm a dental hygienist. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a nurse, right? But like, how easy is it to say, like, I'm an online virtual health coach? Does that ever get brought up when you say what it is that you do? I can tell you for myself, like, it was awkward, like transitioning from school administrator to I stay at home and I'm an online health coach, because people don't know what that is and they get confused. But how can I explain it to them, right? So even saying I help women get strong in all areas of life, that's easier to say, but that still doesn't get like into the nitty gritty. So the more you can explain it, and really the best way to do this is have somebody ask you the 2-year-old why question, right? What does a 2-year-old do when they want to know something? They ask you why 50 times. Those of you with young children understand this. And those of you that have children that can't talk yet, you will get there. Okay. But like the why, well, what do you do? I help women get stronger in all areas of life. What does that mean? Why? Well, I help them get strong in body with their fitness. I help them get strong in nutrition. I help them get strong in their mindset. Well, why? Like dig deep into why and figure out Is this something that you really behind? Is this something that, what is it that you do and why? And that will help you figure out what your one-liner is, what you're comfortable about your story sharing, or how you are an overcomer. Some of you on the screen, I know your stories, and you're not comfortable sharing yet what your thing is that you do. But I've been in a lot of personal development that I've been doing lately, with Marie Forleo and elevation worship and all those kinds of things. Like when you think about well, even the post that I shared in the team page, your mission, your testimony is how you're going to help people, right? Your ministry is the things that you've been through, you've walked through yourself. And that's those experiences that you can share with people. That's the expertise that you now have to share with people. Kelly had back surgery recently. Her story is about overcoming her own physical limitations and how she stuck with it and continued to move through things regardless whether she was physically able to move or not, right? And knowing how good she felt moving her body, she knew she had to get back to moving her body. So it's all about, what is your story? I've had back issues. I could relate to Kelly's story. I could definitely empathize with her when she messaged me and was like, I have to have surgery. But I've never walked in those shoes. I don't know what that feels like. So I can empathize with her, but I haven't lived her story. But she can tell her story of overcoming that. Bridget's had crazy health issues that she's walked through and been very transparent about, right? And has been able to help many people figure out things for themselves. Inspired me to really do the ultimate reset again and really dig into my nutritional issues that I have. Earlier today, Ashley Harvey messaged me and was like, didn't you recently say something about how hummus affected you? And I was like, yes, like awful. And she's like, I had hummus this weekend and I just feel like poop. And I was like, yeah, it's just something that's interacting in your system. And then you don't know those things until you flush them out, until you get rid of them, and then they come back later. It's kind of that trial and error thing. I just remember, I was even just today, this is just a testament to you, Bridget. But even today, I'm standing there in my kitchen, I want a snack. I could easily grab another beach bar like I have every afternoon. But I was like, there are pretzel chips right there in my cupboard. I could eat them. And I know I would feel like poop in an hour, right? Because I have gluten in them and I'm supposed to be staying away from gluten. And then I think about Bridget, who brings all of her food with her to Summit. And even though there is free food from the team dinner in the fridge, on the counter, right in front of her, she's like, no, I think I'm going to go back to my place and get my own salad because I know how it's prepared. I know all the ingredients and I know I'm not going to feel like crap later. And I was just, when I sat there that day, total transparency, when I sat that day, I was like, it's a salad. There's probably not anything that's going to be different. But then standing in front of my cupboard this afternoon, I was like, yeah, I understand why she went and made her own salad, right? It's just not worth it. Did I have the pretzel chips? No, I did not. Did I throw the hummus away that was in my fridge? Absolutely, I did. Okay? I don't need it tempting me. It's delicious, but it does not love my body. So you have to know who you are and then talk about those things and share how you overcome that stuff or why you figured out those things along the way. When I did the Ultimate Reset back in June, I talked about all of those things all along the way. This is going to be the healthiest year of my life, and I'm going to get back into where I need to be nutritionally. I'm going to figure out all the triggers of things in my body, and my team has been the people that have inspired me to do that. Wrap the team into it as much as possible. Bridget, you want to say something? You look like you want to talk. No? Okay. Okay. The last thing I want to share with you, any questions on that or comments? It's not easy feeling crappy. I agreed. I left the conference tonight because I did not want to be tempted to drink and eat all the appetizers. Can you say no thank you to everyone? Good job. Sometimes it's easier just to avoid than explain. I get it. Okay, the last thing I want to share with you tonight is actually from Sarah Morrison as well. She shared in not Fit and Free, it used to be the team page name, Fireflies. Let's see if I can find it. I had it pulled up. But I got a lot of things pulled up. Strange. She had the slides for tonight's Firefly meeting. There it is. And I wanted to share with you, we've been talking a lot about adding to the team. We've been talking a lot about why the team is better. And so this is an example of, many of you have seen a form of this already, but this is kind of a message. This is how she shows value to the team, okay? So she says, one more thing that I should run past you. The other girl's name is Sarah, obviously. There are 2 ways to join. The cost is the same, but the value is different, okay? As a client, you can hop into the group. I'll cheer you on and help you. Super simple, right? You're going to get all the tools. I was having this complex already this morning with Julianne. I was like, I feel like I need to be doing more for my clients. I feel like sometimes my Together We Rise group is kind of dead. Like, and then she's like, but they're adults. They purchased a program. They have all the tools and resources. The content you post will not change them, right? They have to decide to do it. And so release yourself of that pressure of making your challenge groups anything more than just an accountability place, right? So Sarah says it right here. This is setting yourself up for this expectation. As a client, you hop in the group. I'll cheer you on and help you. If you have questions, I'll answer them. If you showing up in the group, I'll cheer you on, right? But they have to take responsibility for that. As a team member, the team is where I see people get the best results, because it's like signing a contract with yourself that you promise never to give up on you. A bonus as a coach team member is that you also get a discount on all the Beachbody things like Shakeology, Beach Bars, etc. And also our team doesn't just work on our fitness, we work on unlocking more potential within us through book clubs, gratitude challenges. We've always got something happening. As a team member, you could still be in that 2B mindset group I mentioned, and I'll be supporting you too, but plus you have a crew of like-minded people. Which would you prefer? Of course, I can answer any questions you might have too. I realize that I'm just now bringing this up as a team, but it just struck me that you would likely love it there. So she's having the conversation with this other girl, and she's saying, she's helping her figure out what package she needs. Obviously, it sounds like it's a 2B Mindset Challenge pack, right? But then this is how she provides value of like how this girl can get started. This is also a way for you to have conversations with people and decide, as you're going through them, getting to know them, is this somebody I want to support, or is it somebody that I really want to link arms with and be on my team? It's kind of an interview process in a sense. And then when you help them get set up their challenge pack or their share cart, this right here is kind of where you get to split the road and say, do you want to be a client or do you want to be a teammate? I love this wording, and I love how she creates value to the team here and puts it in such simple language. Sarah is beautiful at communicating these kinds of things. I will share this in the team page as well, but I just want to talk about it tonight here, all right? She also has, these are all the slides of her team call tonight. She's talking about highlighting teammates. We've done things like this in the team page as well already, and just sharing testimonies of each other and what we've been able to do. Anybody can go to any app and use the templates that are there and create pretty things like this. It's not hard. She used Canva, or she used Unlock, or she used something like that, okay? This is the one that I really want to talk about tonight. Any questions? Yes, I will share that. What are the Fireflies? Great question. So the Fireflies are like our grandma team. Okay, so there's Rise and Fit, and then there's Happy and Fit, and then there's technically the Fireflies. They used to be called Fit and Free, if you ever remember them. They changed the name to Fireflies after Summit and Nala. And then there's Rockstar Fit. So technically Trina's kind of like our great grandma, but you know. Other questions? Takeaways from tonight? How's the book going? We're almost to the end of the month. Only a week left. Why are they so quiet? Is it because we're on Monday night? Not sure you absorbed anything. Need to actually read it. I've listened to it twice now.
I think I was partly too busy at work to like listen. Sometimes you're into your work and not what I'm listening to.
Not really listening to it.
Yeah.
I was listening to Marie Forleo. That's the book I'm listening to right now. And I was listening to her tonight when I was out on the steps doing my messaging. And yeah, I don't know if I absorbed all of it. Or the Elevation Worship podcast that I listened to. But you just got the book. Yes, it's so good. Everything is figure outable. I did fast forward through like her first chapter telling about the Tropicana radio because I've heard that in a podcast before. I already knew that story. But that's the cool thing about Audible. Like you can just skip and keep going. Just like you'd flip a page in a book. It's good. Thoughts, questions? Who has October 26th on their calendar? I hope so. Yay. Go ahead and hit the stop